read from my novel, and I'm not going to set this up too much, although it's deep in the book. But these are two sisters who are featured in this scene, and their names are Jackie and Susan. The calves' hollering is a symphony of dismay. On the other side of the fence, out in the lower field, the mother cows bellow back at their young, desperate to be reunited. The calves, black and white and red, pile against each other in the narrow corral behind the squeeze chute. Their snouts tip skyward. The irrigation in the lower field whispers at them, "Go, go, 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 go." Inside the corral, piss hits the dust. Jackie is busy. She's in charge. She sets out the vaccinations, the needle, the bander on the small table she brought from the mudroom. She plugs the branding iron into the outlet in the base of a post. Susan sets one foot on the lowest rung of the corral and rests her elbows on the third. "What do you want to do about the bulls this year?" she asks Jackie, which isn't a direct question, at least not enough of one. "I set it up with Pete to bring one over 2 weeks from Wednesday." "But what does that mean about next year? What will we do next year?" "I guess I figure one of us will stay on." "I guess." "You about ready?" Jackie asks. The answer is no, but that isn't something Susan is going to say. Not today, when they have to brand 100 calves in the heat of the afternoon without any help, because Jackie was too stubborn and Susan was too the way she is to call any of the neighbors. Susan tightens her grip on the fencing. She needs to get calm, to be gentle. The calves, they smell fear. She climbs up and over the fence and down into the corral among the calves, their legs and tails knocking against her jeans. "Okay, little calves," Jackie calls from the calf table, one hand already at the ready. "Who wants to be brave?" Susan gets behind a small chocolate one, her body close against its butt. It's best if they know it's inevitable. Life isn't about to hand anyone options. Susan grabs the prod and whacks the calf, and finally the animal snorts and trips forward into the head gate, where Jackie gets it shut around her neck. They spin the calf table sideways, the calf pressed between the metal bars, and she kicks and rattles the cage, which is what a calf table should really be called. There is power in what a thing is called. Natural gas and clean coal sound like something benign, something safe. Call an activist a defender or a terrorist, and the headline reads different. Free-range cattle evokes the life of a beat poet, a life easy. Jackie lowers the orange hot brand to the flank, and pale yellow smoke and the sharp smell of burnt hair billows into her face. The calf kicks and squirms against the metal wall and bellows, and Jackie picks up the brand only to lower it down a second time. Green shit leaks from under the tail against the blue metal. It's illegal to buy a cow that isn't branded. There is no choice here. This is the only way to be a rancher. Damn it. Jackie steps back, both hands on the branding iron. Jackie nominated herself to be in charge, to be the one to know, and she doesn't know. She isn't Dad, and she isn't Uncle Ellis, and they, the Dunbar girls, do not have one small clue what the hell they're doing with these thousands of pounds of animals. Jackie spits and steps back to the cow and again lowers the brand, and again the calf yowls and kicks. There is more shit and flies and dust. The brand makes black tar of the skin. It takes 6 hours for them to run through the rest of the calves. A few more times, Jackie doesn't push the iron in hard enough and has to redo. And once she lets a calf run through the squeeze chute out into the corral, they have to herd it back and do the whole thing again. Susan gets kicked twice in the shin. It could have been worse, probably should have been. Afterward, they let the calves rejoin their mothers in the lower field to nurse and graze. Reunited, they all quiet down. There is only the sound of flies buzzing, of water trucks headed to or from gas wells down below on Dry Hollow Road, and the irrigation. Sitting in the dirt and shade, their backs against the posts, the Dunbars drink bottled water. A thin line of black ash edges Jackie's lips. Susan doesn't mention it. Jackie tells Susan that her landman friend has given them an extension on signing the gas contract. She tells her this as if she has won a blue ribbon. Susan turns her head away from her sister and stares at the empty corral. "Why do you trust that guy? He works for a multinational corporation." "Tim's a good guy. I've known him a long time." Jackie blushes and smiles awkwardly. "I don't believe it," Susan says. "You never fall for anyone." "I wouldn't say I'm falling for him. I mean, I like him, but I'm thinking straight about it." Implicit in Jackie's comment is a critique of Susan, that she has always leapt for love every time into the chute. You know, Jackson, you can't control everything. I know. Dad would be proud of you. I'm proud of you. I haven't done anything, Susie. I want to sell the ranch, says Susan quietly, staring at the cows suckling at their mother's tits. How can you even consider that? Dad would disown us. Dad is gone, and we can't afford this place, and we can't do this by ourselves. I don't want to, and you won't admit it, but neither do you. You want to give away the only thing Dad gave us because it's hard? Susan sits very still. She bites the tip of her tongue between her teeth. Jackie has never been told off. She has never taken a real risk with men or otherwise. Sure, she's worked hard, but only within a structure of benchmarks. Get good grades, get into medical school, pass a certain test, feed the cows, irrigate. None of it an idea she had to create. Susan sits up, then she stands up. Hard? You want to talk about hard? Susan's words bounce off the post. Ask me one goddamn time how this is for me. This land is all we have. I've given up everything to be here. And I haven't? You didn't have anything to give up. You came here to get away from your life. You have no idea about my life. You never ask. Jackie blinks. Her look of superiority falls to the dirt. She leans her head back to look at the sky, her shoulders slumped. Where would you go? Jackie asks finally. If we sold the ranch, where would you want to go? It's an obvious thing to ask, but it takes Susan by surprise. A forced, harsh laugh leaves her chest. That's a good question. Jackie stands up and offers her bottle of water to Susan. It's not a hug. It's not a kindred spirit Anne of Green Gables moment, but Susan does take the water and Jackie does sit down beside her, their sleeves almost touching. The pounding of Susan's heart slows. The sun falls out of the sky and rolls across her body. They stay like that for a long time, not talking, and it reminds her just a little of the way she often came upon her dad and Uncle Ellis. On the other side of the corral, the mothers and their calves stay close together now, light breaking around the pairs. Thank you.